This episode is sponsored by Caddyshack Bistro, your favorite new watering hole. Located next to Crust Pizza Company on Spring Cypress and Champions Forest Drive in Spring, Texas. A place where dreams come true. The finest spirits, wine, and tasty food. It's where the locals go. Use code BeerNerd20 to get 20% off your next order.
I want to know what you're thinking.
Should be a fun episode.
There are
Should be
some things you can't hide. I want to know what you're feeling. Tell me what's on your mind.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Front Row Negative, the podcast. We are back from our Christmas vacation, sort of. And we're going to record to catch up on things that we didn't get to talk about because of, vacation and family stuff. So many things. Oh, my
God.
And I'm Aaron, and I'm joined again by...
your boy Chris, a.k.a. Shooter McGavin, and no, I do not eat pieces of shit for breakfast.
Well, I would hope you wouldn't. That's not healthy, as proved in the latest season of Always Sunny. It's not delicious either. And we are joined again by the podfather of Cross the Streams Media Productions, the guy who pretty much runs this company, and also our editor who makes us sound halfway decent. It is Dwayne.
The best I can. And by the way, I was going to ask you if you eat shit for breakfast, so good call.
Well, I mean, I had Waffle House for like brunch today. So, I mean, depending on your definition of shit, although I like Waffle House, I know it gets a bad rap from a lot of people, but I'm a fan.
Guessing Poncho's doesn't do breakfast, right?
Not yet. If they did,
then you'd be eating shit for breakfast.
If they did, they'd be one restaurant down. They'd be down to one restaurant then.
Man, whatever. I'd raise the flag. Bring me another hot plate of shit.
They raise the flag too. That's why they keep losing restaurants.
You know, when you walk up, they're like, "Watch your hands. This plate is hot because it's a hot pile of doo doo and it's delicious doo doo."
So to take a page out of Dwayne's book, what's everybody drinking tonight as we're recording this? What are you drinking?
I'm drinking Yingling tonight.
You know, I heard Yingling's really good. I heard it's really good.
It is.
That sounds like a rapper from Houston.
That's Youngling.
Oh, little Yingling? Yingling?
And you wouldn't say Yingling if you saw how it's spelled either.
No, it says Yong Long. I don't know. Hey, look, I am drinking Dr. Pepper out of a itsy bitsy teeny weeny little
that is a
short,
baby
short
can of Dr. Pepper. That is a baby can of Dr. Pepper.
It's a mini Nerf ball.
It is, man. Well, I mean, I'm 40 and fat, and the thing is, I don't.
That's a new TLC series, isn't it?
40 and fat. I mean, yeah, my 300 plus life. Jesus Christ, dude, I can't finish. Like at this point in my life, I don't finish whole cans of any kind of soda. I shouldn't be drinking the damn things anyway. But if I'm going to have a soda, I might as well, have one that I can almost kind of finish.
Well, I mean, did you get that can trick-or-treating? It looks like a bite-sized version of Mars bar, but Dr. Pepper.
Man, it's, we wanted to get A&W root beer, but they were out at the HEB we were at, so.
Okay. Hey,
what are you going to do, huh?
Hey, that's fair enough. I am still drinking water. Over the course of this holiday break, or this holiday season, I have been in duress. And
sorry.
Basically, I had a root canal done a few weeks ago, followed up with a follow-up crown extension surgery in my mouth, where I've been on a liquid diet and a soft food diet for the last few weeks. I have dropped a total now of 17 pounds. I have lost 2 pant sizes. I'm literally having to wear a belt to keep my pants up.
Man, I'm jealous.
Because of this diet. And I am drinking Fiji water, natural water, out of the square bottle. So,
bottled in Pasadena, Texas.
It has not been a fun ride for me. But the drugs are great, though. I will say that. I love the drugs, but they don't love me.
You have to be in your 40s to get that reference.
You have to be old to get that reference.
Yes.
You gotta be old. So how have y'all's holidays been going for this last 2 weeks? How's it been going?
For me, I'm sorry. Go ahead, please.
We can the guests. We can the guests.
A good host would tell somebody to talk.
Oh, Dwayne, how was your Christmas, sir? Tell us about your Christmas. How was your happy Honda days?
You know what? We never claim to have a good podcast or be good hosts.
No, please. We strive for mediocrity.
Don't worry, I can edit it out if you need to, but I probably won't.
Man, that's the charm of the show. Come on.
You know you won't. That mess up is going to stay in there for all of eternity, probably with the take one.
It was good. Went with the family and friends and had a good time. Ate and drank too much. That's what you're supposed to do, though.
That's the holidays.
That is true. That is very much true.
Did you get to see all the family that you wanted to see? Everybody you're looking forward to have come over and eat all the food and leave a mess in your house and stuff?
As many as I needed to see, yes.
Well, I think the main question is during the holidays, do you get to see the family that you want to see? And did you have to see the family that you didn't want to see?
What?
It's did you get to see the family that you wanted to see? And did you have to see the family that you did not want to see?
I did not, no.
Okay.
Basically, you have what's his face?
You have a cousin Eddie in your family.
Yeah, Randy Quaid out in your front yard.
Nope, no cousin Eddie's.
No in-laws like in Krampus.
No.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Have to ask. Chris, how was yours?
Man, it's been good, man. We just we spent time with family. Obviously, we spent time with friends, as you know.
Yes.
Exchanging gifts and what have you. My life is basically just sell toys, draw pictures, come home, rinse, repeat. And so, I'm not complaining. Like I'm right now. Good. Right now, I'm working on commissions, and this is for our captive audience here, just us three.
That is a great picture of some cosmic activity.
Yeah, man, little Scotty Young-esque inspired 3-card puzzle. Yeah, no, so I mean, dude, I can't complain, man. I mean, with everything going on in the world, the new bug invasion going on out there and everything. Yep. I mean, it could be worse.
Okay. So. Hey, it sounds like a good holiday season. Yeah. But you know what happened during the holiday season, though, right?
I spent a lot of money at the movie theater.
I think we all did.
And I don't think I'm done. To be honest with you.
I think we all did. If you don't have HBO Plus, you probably did. But let's talk about the movie theaters, especially one that came out recently that set worldwide records now, like the biggest box office draw since Endgame.
I believe so. I know it
Matrix
passed 1 billion.
4.
Nobody's talking about the Matrix. Nobody's talking about that. Even people who saw it aren't even talking about that. I see people who check in like, "Oh, I'm watching the Matrix. How was it?" It happened. That's usually the end of conversation. That it happened.
That's pretty much it. I did see it, so.
I haven't seen it yet. I haven't seen it yet only because I need to get caught up. I've only seen the first 2 movies. I haven't seen 2, 3.
You're fine. Whatever.
I'm fine?
Yeah.
Okay.
You don't need to, man. It's okay.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
I'm kind of a completist with movies. So
I know there's only 3. You saw the first 2. That's all you really need.
Yeah, really.
To see the 4th.
Okay, fair enough. I'll take your word for that. Fair enough. But no, let's talk about Spider-Man because that's the thing. I know last week every podcast and their mother was talking about Spider-Man. They did their reviews. They read the Wikipedias. They watched the YouTube videos on the Easter eggs that they thought they might know but don't know. But us being Spider-Man fans, how did y'all like it? Okay, Dwayne, let's start with you. Like, what did you think about the movie?
It was fucking amazing.
Yes,
it definitely was.
It was all I wanted and more.
See, that's a good way to sum it up. I mean, we can go into spoilers here because we're 2 weeks out.
Oh my God! At this point, shame on your ass. Dude. Yeah. Who gives a shit? You're an idiot.
Hey, we're gonna go on spoilers. I'll throw like a little audio clip right here about spoilers, or if Dwayne still has the other recording I did, he could just throw it right here.
Or you can say spoilers ahead.
people don't listen. Communication is not strong for a lot of people.
Hey, that's
So-
the problem.
What is that? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, Chris, Shooter, what did you think about the movie?
Man, dude. Okay, so those who don't know, my nephew's birthday is in December, and being that this is going to be one of the most highly anticipated movies, not just for everybody in general, but especially myself. I know Aaron being a webhead as well. We are both huge Spider-Man fans, and my nephew as much so because I helped raise him, and I like to think that I had some sort of influence, and so. He said, I want to see Spider-Man for my birthday. I said, okay, no problem, kid. As a matter of fact, we will do that. And I refuse to have any whiny babies, any dickheads on their phones, any kind of bullshit that would ruin this movie for me. So we did some phone calls. We did some research. We found out we could rent a whole goddamn movie theater.
Uh-huh.
And the cool thing was, look, the wife did the research here. Between Thursday and Friday, Thursday being the preview night, Friday being the premiere, to rent out a private theater at the theater we went to for like 22 people came out to like 180, 190 bucks.
Yeah.
Which really and truly, to pick your fellow audience,
Mhm.
I mean, for one of the biggest movies, you
Yeah.
know, I mean, is there a no-brainer?
Yeah.
Between Thursday and Friday is either 100 something, almost 200, or like between $700 or $900 or something like that, something insane. That is a mouse tax that the Disney had put on that. So Thursday was the night. Thursday was the go-to. You were there, Aaron. We did. We had a blasty blast because it was the experience you would hope for. You know what I mean? It was the just the cheering and the shock and awe of the things that we had not expected. Things we had suspected and weren't exactly sure when or if it was going to happen, but it definitely happened. And this movie renewed my interest in the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man movies.
Okay.
I have kind of forgotten them a little bit. And poor Andrew Garfield, man. I mean,
Well,
But
I
there's
think he just got redemption in this.
Yeah.
He said,
he
"Fuck
did.
it,
He did.
I'm going full out." And
So Chris,
he,
back to the
kind of
question.
stole the show.
So Chris, back
He
to the
did.
question. What'd you think about the movie?
Oh yeah, I'm sorry, man. I'm just very excited about this movie.
Everybody is.
I thought it was fantastic. I thought this movie knew exactly what it was. It didn't pretend to be anything it wasn't. It was all fan service, and that's what it needed to be.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and this movie was in the can a long time ago, right? Wasn't this movie done like last year?
They said it was done beginning of the summer. It was done.
Yeah. So this movie, I don't think it intended to do this, but it definitely saved the movie theaters in general from extinction.
It did.
Because what else are you going to go to the movie theater for?
It definitely did. It definitely did.
But I also think it shows you just have to have a good fucking movie and people will show up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
exactly.
the hype is there. For anytime there's a Spider-Man movie, the hype is always there. No matter what, there'll always be hype. And with that character, I think it brings that level of people want to see the next story. I mean, with Batman, Batman is Batman. But they've had 6 different Batmans in the last 25 years.
Mm-hmm.
And each time they do it, it has a good turnout, but then after that, it kind of flatlines. Every time they do a Spider-Man movie, no matter what, it raises. There's more people there, and as much as people want to complain about, another Uncle Ben dying, we've seen the Waynes die. I think it's been now 11 times in media, from TV show and movies and animation. 11 times, and we've only seen the Uncle Bens die 3 times. 1 in animation and 2 in movies. That's it. That has been it.
True.
So there's always been a big emotional investment in Spider-Man movie, but there always has been. Speaking
of Uncle Ben, this movie gave us the story that this world doesn't have an Uncle Ben.
Well, he existed. He did exist, but
I don't know. He didn't seem to.
No, Peter's suit that he wore in the first movie, the prom suit, was Uncle Ben's suit. Okay. The briefcase that he wore, the briefcase that he used in the second movie, was Uncle Ben's briefcase, and he's been mentioned twice, but
he never had that influence, I guess.
No, I guess he wasn't that much that he didn't have that involvement with Peter as his aunt did. And we saw that
this was the shitty Uncle Ben who didn't care about Peter.
He just didn't have the connection. We don't know. This Uncle Ben could have died. He could have drowned in like a water purification tower or something. You don't know.
This Uncle Ben had like a gambling problem and was very distant with May and shit like that. He
gambled at the gas stations, the gas station lottery.
Scratchers. He went for scratchers and never came back. That old chestnut.
But so, what did you think about that twist of the Aunt May being the Uncle Ben of the movie?
Man, what's really cool is that I really did appreciate it. And going back, after you watch the movie, like I've seen it twice now. I want to go at least one more time. Mm-hmm. And watching all the little, like you said, all the little Easter egg videos and all the things that people are digging in on to find out about. She had the most accurate recreation of the quote, and I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
With great power, there must also come great responsibility, which is a little oversight. It's kind of like the Luke, I am your father, Luke, I'm your father, that kind of thing. It's like
that is true.
Mandela effect. We always misquote shit because,
Yeah.
But dude, I wanted to hear Bonesaw. Like, Bonesaw is ready. We're getting the multiverse, dude. We should have got a digital Monster Man. I'm sorry. That's just crazy.
No, we didn't need that.
Well, I mean,
dude, I got you for 3 minutes.
The original movie had wrestling with Macho Man Randy Savage. The second movie had a wrestling ring where he got his influence for the mask. Mm-hmm. And this third movie had power bombs. This movie series had power bombs.
Oh man, it was so good.
And that final movie had power bombs. So there's always a wrestling connection to it. So, but Bonesaw was there in spirit, maybe.
Yes. No, I absolutely loved it. As soon as it went for pre-order on the Steelbook on Best Buy, we ordered that.
Well, and thinking about it, Aunt May at least got to know Peter as Spider-Man too. Uncle Ben never knew that.
He didn't. He did not.
Oh, that's true. Yeah,
good point. He didn't get a chance.
That is very much true. He none of the Bens knew because they were essentially the catalyst for him becoming Spider-Man.
Right.
So, kind of makes sense. That one kind of makes sense.
Yeah, but what more can you ask for? I mean, to me the biggest thing was, like you said, Andrew Garfield got redemption. Even when he called himself Spider-Man 3 or Third Spider-Man, like it's kind of funny. Peter 3, all the self-referential jokes were there, man. I mean, this is what the world needed, dude. Right? Like we needed fun.
A good Spider-Man movie, just a plain good Spider-Man movie.
And also, like, Doctor Strange was in here.
Yeah.
But they didn't make him like the focal point of the movie. It wasn't a Doctor Strange and Spider-Man movie. It was still a Spider-Man movie. Yeah. They found a way to put Doctor Strange away for most of the movie.
A heavy hitter like Strange, who was a big part of this, was only in for 20 minutes?
He was tied up.
It would have been a 15-minute movie if Strange was there.
Yeah.
Oh God, yeah.
Too powerful.
I honestly thought that was going to be. I honestly thought the fact that the Sanctum Sanctorum was covered in snow was that hell froze over and that Mephisto was taking. I'm falling. I'm on. At this point, I'm on Mephisto watch.
You're still on Mephisto watch. You're still on Mephisto.
I'm always on Mephisto watch. Everything that goes wrong, if shit falls over in my house, I'm like fucking Mephisto. Everything. Everything.
Do you have that Marvel Legend?
Mephisto?
Yeah.
Not yet.
Okay.
No. Not yet. I'm not entirely sure. I don't have one that's already Mephisto. It just changes it on its own and shit.
It's one of your Roddy Piper figures. Secretly Mephisto. Probably. So Dwayne,
with sunglasses, you can see him.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So Dwayne, what was your favorite moment in the film? Like what was the moment that you cheered for, or that was just your favorite?
There's too many.
There is.
There's so many. I mean, obviously, seeing the other Spider-Mans is pretty awesome, and the villains.
Yeah,
I think they did. And honestly, with Sandman, I was like, "How are they going to do this?" Right? Because he's not as young as he used to be, and they're just like, "We'll just make him CG the whole movie."
Then we'll cover him in sand at the end.
Yeah.
Were him and the guy who played the lizard? I don't know if they were even outside of voice acting. I think they probably just digitally dropped him in there at the end, right?
Just their end scene.
That was them.
That's probably all they did.
make it then and put wigs on them for the balding spots.
Well, I mean, they probably did motion capture stuff. I don't know.
Yeah,
maybe.
But,
maybe.
Yeah, but I don't know. It was cool just seeing. I mean, the interaction with all the Spider-Man. I mean, they all had their personalities from the movie come through, so that was pretty awesome.
Oh God, yeah.
We almost got a whole Sinister Six, but we were
almost
close. We were there.
The tree was the sixth member.
No, man. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I can pick one.
What can you say?
One?
Yeah.
I mean, the whole movie was good.
Can you pick two? Can you pick two favorite moments?
I mean, the Spider-Man's coming through the portals. That was cool.
Okay.
It was a little predictable, but that's what you wanted to see, anyways.
Yeah.
And honestly, I think that last scene where Tobey Maguire, not Tobey Maguire, Tom Holland's Spider-Man is just pissed off and he wants to kill the Green Goblin.
Yeah.
That scene was like intense. I was like, oh my God, he's going to kill him. Yes.
Yeah. You see the change, you see the shift on his face. Like when he did the crouch down, you're like, oh my God, this is not a Tom Holland Spider-Man we've seen yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, that was awesome.
Yeah, it was left and right combos. It was just left and right combos. Boom,
Yeah.
boom, boom,
Man,
boom.
Yeah, whooping that ass. And honestly, like, I cried with the Andrew Garfield catching MJ thing because that was the part that really messed me up. And
I saw that coming though. As soon as she walked out on the thing, I was like, "Oh, he's gonna catch her."
I knew it in the trailer. I was like, "There's no way it's not gonna be him catching her."
Yeah.
But just you felt it when you saw his face looking at her, like it's like, oh, come on, man, like. Because in reality, in this Earth, we did not get a resolution for his story outside of the second movie.
Nope.
So, he's just left with the death, just surrounded by death, the Spider-Man. Yep. And then he helps a little kid, fights a rhino, and that's it. And you're like, oh, God, what? More.
And they were setting up for this. They were setting up for the Sinister Six with that movie, too.
Yeah.
Along with, I read the script, or what was supposed to be, like, it with Andrew Garfield's third and fourth movie, it was supposed to be with reincarnation. With them bringing back Gwen, them bringing back his dad, basically Clone Saga stuff, like Sinister Six and Clone Saga.
You know what? This movie did prove, though, that the guiding hand of Marvel itself was needed to make a good Spider-Man. Well, not that the other movies weren't good in their own right, but like Spider-Man 3 with Tobey Maguire couldn't balance 3 villains, but this one could balance 5, potentially 6. I mean,
yeah.
No villain in this movie felt shortchanged. I didn't feel like, we didn't need a ton of Lizard, but we got just enough Lizard. You know what I mean? There wasn't any. I didn't feel like we were shortchanged on anything.
Well, this movie felt like the Civil War. You had all the different people show up. You already knew their story, though. They built up with other movies, so they already knew their story. You just wanted to see them fight. Let's be honest. You just wanted to see them fight.
Let them fight.
I'm curious though with the new Marvel movie watchers, like the people who didn't watch all the old stuff before, like what their like reaction was watching this. Like they're probably just like, who are these other Spider-Man? I don't know.
Who's that old guy? Who's that old guy wearing Vans?
Oh man! Furthermore, do those people even exist at this point? Like I feel like that's so weird to me. Like I don't get it. And dude, even okay.
Well, it's just because you're in this world like we are. Like, not everybody loves this stuff.
Yeah,
like we do.
Yeah,
I refuse to believe it.
That's true. I mean, you got people going back and buying old trades just to try to read the story that's inspired this stuff now.
Chris, there's people out there that haven't seen Star Wars.
Yeah,
like, come on.
That's true.
Stupid. Those are the same people that are like, spousal abusers and shit. Those are, you know what I mean? Those can't be. Those can't be. I'm sorry, those can't be real people that have real emotion and do real shit in their lives. There's something wrong with them. I'm sorry.
Wow.
Those people will be the subject of YouTube videos about, the day everything went wrong in their life and shit like that. No.
Yeah. I think I'll just say my two favorite scenes. First scene was the lab with all 3 Peters working on their stuff, their cures and all their different web fluids and shock therapies, all the stuff that they're going to make into fight the bad guys. That was great because you see them all interact. And I had big vibes of Spider-Verse, the comic book version, Spider-Geddon, Spider-Verse, where all the Spider-Men are interacting with each other. And that was pretty cool. That was a pretty cool scene. And then my other favorite was another cameo that few people have talked about, but the catch with the brick through the window. Because we heard the rumors that he might be in here. He might come back. He might not. He's in it. He's in it. We have inside sources. There's not inside sources. All these different things about this guy coming back in. And to see Charlie Cox revive his role as Daredevil, catch the brick through the window. To me, that was a great moment. That was a great moment.
Oh God, yeah.
And
yeah, for sure.
and even then, a lot of people didn't catch that was the same Daredevil from the Netflix. There's still some people who didn't get that. They thought it was just some guy.
I don't understand,
dude. And Disney's gonna hire him for everything. He kept the secret. Like he had interviews where he was like, "Look, if I'm in this movie, I don't know about it. Like, I think I would know."
Yeah, well, he didn't see the contract because he's blind.
Well, he did a better job than
Tom Holland?
Andrew Garfield did, because every time he was asked the question, he would start laughing. And
man,
I mean, kind of a giveaway, kind of a little giveaway of information. But still, that was a great. I mean, that was
I think though, but that happened at the beginning of the movie, and there was so much shit that happened afterwards that it just kind of. It was cool when it happened, and then it was just like,
that would be my point. Yeah, that was I mean, that by no means did I overlook it while I was watching the movie. It's just you're getting constantly bombarded with one badass scene after the next. There wasn't a dull moment in this movie. I really didn't feel like there was a lull to where you would be bored and disinterested. You wanted to see where everything was because one scene led to the next plot point. It was the constant. It was a rapid fire.
I think the. Trying to get into MIT thing could have been a little shorter. That's it's a small thing. It got a little okay. We know you're not getting into any college.
Well, I mean, they had to give Flash Thompson a storyline for the movie, so that was kind of his only storyline in the whole movie, besides selling his book that he wrote. So
yeah. Well, I don't know, man.
I figured
Flash
that
was boring.
Well, at least he had the blonde hair this time. He grew his hair out and it was blonde. He looked like comic book Flash Thompson with the blonde hair. So
yeah, but Flash Thompson, I remember, was a big athletic dude who was a douchebag, and not like a dirty.
This Flash seemed a little bit bigger too. He didn't seem like as scrawny as he was in the first movie, where he was, the smart, sarcastic bully, the rich bully. This one seemed a little bit bigger, and I think that a lot of his scenes might have been cut out to progress the story, which might have showcased him being bigger. Like, he either hit the gym or he hit a subway. I don't know. But
if I had my choice, man, if they were to tell me I could pick between two different things I wanted to see in regards to like additional Rider-esque characters, be it Agent Venom, which obviously we're not going to get that with Flash Thompson this early, but
nope.
There were times where I really thought I was going to see the beginnings of Superior Spider-Man. You know what I mean? Because with Doc Ock and the extra Spider-Man there and stuff like that, like there was a part of me that felt like, like Doc Ock was going to transfer. You know what I mean? Like at some point, something. This was all early thoughts of my first screening. I was like, this makes too much sense to have this many Spider-Man here.
I think we'll eventually get a Tom Holland Doc Ock movie down the line. Eventually, not anytime soon, but I think we'll eventually get one.
Yeah, probably so.
It'll be the female version, like in the.
Oh yeah.
In the Spider-Verse.
It'll be the what was it?
It was his daughter, right? She was supposed to be his daughter or something.
Well, the female one in the comics is his daughter. Yeah. That's his daughter. Lady Octopus.
But so like they mentioned they're like, oh, there's no Oscorp in this world or whatever. But didn't we see an Oscorp building in one other movie?
They said there's no Oscorp building in this city. Whenever Norman was dropped in, he's like, I didn't see my tower. I didn't see my building. There's no Oscorp building.
But I thought we saw Oscorp somewhere.
Well,
right?
That's been the rumor as who bought Avengers
Tower. Yeah,
who bought it? Is it
Fantastic Four?
Fantastic. Is it the Baxter Building? Is it is Osborn? Is it who's another big threat in the Marvel universe who has to have a giant building?
Kingpin.
Kingpin? Well, no, he bought the hotel from Hawkeye. That was the hotel he bought in Hawkeye. Yeah. But
I mean, for somebody to buy that building, man, I mean, the Baxter building would seem like to be the natural progression of that. And who's going to, I mean, they're going to give us the Fantastic Four out of nowhere. We have no basis for the Fantastic Four at all. So they're going to have to introduce them. And who's going to fund it? It's going to be Doom. So is Victor Von Doom going to be here from Latveria on a diplomatic immunity, and he's going to buy the building, and suddenly
we're going to get Doom Industries?
I mean, I guess at this point anything's possible, right? I mean,
well, we don't have the Iron Man robots, so now we need the Doom bots.
Yeah, the Doom bots.
Exactly.
For cannon fodder when they fight through the Tower Doom.
The third act of the Fantastic Four movie.
Yeah, will be
Mole Man, the Underminer from Incredibles,
or Psycho Man.
Man, anything's possible. I mean, I literally just feel like even I saw Eternals. I didn't have any problem with Eternals. Admittedly, I don't know much about those characters because they weren't really anything I gave a shit about as a comic reader. Admittedly, and I feel bad saying that, but like
a lot of people didn't. A lot of people felt the same way you did. A lot of people feel the same way you did. I mean, it's
the same thing as Superman, dude. Like for me, Superman is the same way. I don't get down on or identify with or put fandom into God level type characters. I don't, you know what I mean? Like comic book Jesuses, I don't get into it.
I understand you. I do recall. I tried reading an Eternals book one time. I tried reading a trade, like one of those black and white, the old school black and white trades, the essentials. And reading an Eternals book or an issue of Eternals was a lot of reading. It was a lot, like Watchmen level reading.
Real heady, yeah.
Heady. And I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. I mean, even with like the first volume of X-Men, like the old black and white X-Men with, the original team, that's a lot of reading too. But at least you had some action to kind of balance out the reading. With Eternals, it's just a lot of reading and just pictures of reading. It's like, oh, you think you're going to get an action scene? No, it's just another pictures of word bubbles with reading. And so I couldn't. I tapped out.
I mean, maybe that's why people talk about Jack Kirby's artwork as opposed to whoever wrote it. Who wrote Eternals? Who's the writer of the original Eternals? Do we know?
I think it's Kirby and
sounds like Kirby because he wanted to do that otherworldly stuff. That's why
he liked doing the galactic, the cosmic stuff.
Oh, so you might have been the artist and the writer. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay.
Steve Buscemi or something.
Steve Buscemi. Sal Buscema. Gil Kane.
So let me ask you guys: were you sadder when Peter had to tell, basically everybody was going to forget him, that whole scene, or when Aunt May got killed?
Ooh. Forget me forever or Aunt May dies. This movie, besides the video game, this movie was the first one to actually kill Aunt May off. This is the one where the first one that's killed Aunt May off. They almost pulled the trigger in the was it the One More Day type of comic, and which they should have done. She's old.
Send her out to pasture.
Send her out to pasture. But I was more shocked to see May die, but I was more sadder to see Peter lose everything. He lost everything. But with the movie series, they wrote themselves into a wall with giving Peter everything. He had every way out to be Spider-Man. Now he's going back to like what the comics were, and he's alone. He's living off campus. He's alone. He's got his own, apartment. He's basically Spider-Man that we've read in the comics, where he's alone by himself, trying to survive.
Right.
And I think he needed that. As far as the sadness, that was a little sad, especially to see him put the note back up in his pocket and walk out the coffee shop.
Yeah.
That was sad, but May dying, that got me. That May dying got me because I was not expecting that at all.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say because May's been kind of like she's been like the never kill a pet or never kill a child in these movies. You don't ever see it happen. They're kind of forbidden, and she's always kind of been protected that way. And as soon as I saw her get hit with the glider, I'm like, oh, she's gone. She's gone. And sadly, it happened. So I'm going with May.
Spider-Man's overarching thing is that he's always having to lose, and that's that. In I think it's been documented at this point pretty well that Peter Parker, Spider-Man's character, is written to be one of the more relatable superhero characters, in that he deals with the day-to-day problems we all deal with. The struggle bus. You know what I mean? Like, he's always having to rob Peter to pay Paul. No pun intended. Yeah. And so he's, in these movies, with him having, like you said, everything. We didn't get the backstory on Uncle Ben and everything. We literally were just, we had a fastball of Peter thrown at us real quick in Civil War, and we're off and running from there. Yeah. We didn't ask any questions. And one of the things they kept, on the low side, whether we realized it or not, they did keep to the core of Peter, as in he's supposed to lose everything. Peter, that's the shtick, right? Is that Peter doesn't get ahead. Yeah. He can't, because a lot of times in real life we can't. And one of the things that he learns oftentimes in the stories is that he doesn't see the forest for the trees. It takes him loss to realize what he's got into what not. You know what I mean? Yeah. Right. It's always been that way for Peter. And so in this movie, it sucks that she had to die. Not that she had died, but it sucks that they killed her off. But then again, we haven't had an Uncle Ben moment near with him. No, we haven't seen him have that loss. So it's kind of a no-brainer from the storytelling standpoint for having to have that happen. So in a roundabout way, we kind of got the same story that we're used to, but repackaged a little differently. In as much as, we got the Tenet version of the origin of Spider-Man, where it's like everything went backwards. Right. But kudos to them for creating it in that manner and giving it to us that way. I love the fact that he's having to come back down to reality, like, life fucked him, like it always does to everybody. And so it's like, well, shit, what do I do? Do I give up, even though I had to make the ultimate sacrifice for everybody to forget me because everybody gets close to me gets screwed? Do I throw a pity party and feel sorry for myself, or do I look at the blessing in disguise I've been given, and the blessing everybody else has been given in disguise? They'll never even realize it. Never. Yeah. Most people in Peter's life will never understand.
Right.
That's true.
They never knew how on a hairline trigger they were from being, dealt with by some bad shit. And so for Peter at his age, in the storytelling aspect, for him to realize all these things, and that being the overarching story, is that he is mature enough to realize he needed to do those things. Mm-hmm. Obviously he's a genius level kid. He's smart, but being a genius don't give you street smarts. Being a genius don't give you common sense. Look at the world we live in. Just because you got a lot of money doesn't mean you're smart. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, so beautiful storytelling. That's one of the things I think for me, that's why I love the character of Spider-Man, because I can, under the mask, if you don't know who Peter is and you're reading a Spider-Man adventure where we don't touch on anything Peter, that's the whole point of escapism, is to put yourself in the story. You know what I mean? And whether Stan Lee intended that or not, Spider-Man is the quintessential put you in the story. You identify with that character. Mm-hmm. I don't identify with Wolverine. I most certainly don't identify with Batman. They're great characters, but this is the character that touches and pulls the heartstrings. Like, could you imagine if Disney Pixar made a Spider-Man movie? Yeah, our souls would be crushed. That's true. Aunt May would have killer hips, and then
she like Miss Incredible
ripped out of her chest. Yeah, exactly.
She looked like Miss Incredible.
So, anyway, I
guess answer my question.
This is what I have to deal with.
Man, look.
This is what I have to deal with.
I can't help it. We're talking about a character I've loved for a long time, and I'm seeing the culmination of all the years of love for this character when the whole entire world's catching up to it. So what was sadder to me? Yes. I've seen him lose a loved one. It's not news to me. The idea that the realization that he had to make that decision to save the whole fucking world, essentially, depending on how you look at it.
Yes.
That's the sadder thing. Everything that he had, obviously she was taken from him, so he had to realize he had to lose everything else. I mean, yes, it's sad that he lost her.
Yeah.
And then, but you had to forego everything. You've got to go from being a genius kid who's got everything that Stark laid out for you to literally having to realize it is now time for ramen noodles and low electricity, pal. You know what I mean? Like, that's real. That's real.
Here's what I think it was for me. So Aunt May gets killed, murdered, whatever you want to call it. He gets a brief second, and then it's like, boom, we got to go because we're in the middle of a fight right now.
Oh,
Off and running. We didn't really even get to like deal with he didn't as a character. We as an audience, we didn't get to deal with that at all.
No, you're absolutely right.
So I think in the end, when you come to realize, like, oh shit, not only did he lose Aunt May, now he has to lose everything else in his life.
Yeah,
that's what made it sadder for me. I think is because we didn't get that time to grieve and move on and get over it. You know.
Oh God, you're right.
Very truthful. Very truthful. So overall, how many stars out of 10 would you give it? Dwayne?
9.9.
9.9.
Ooh, where's the 0.1? What did we miss here?
I mean, I knew MJ was gonna fall out the thing. I mean, there was a few things that were, they're just.
Well, that was in the trailer too. So I mean,
there was just a few things that were
too obvious for you.
Yeah, I mean,
okay, that's
which is fine.
Chris,
I expected,
For me, I'm going to give it out of 10.
Yes.
I was about to say, are we giving the Dave Meltzer star rating here?
No, we're doing 10, not 5.
It's going to be a 10 for me, man, because I'm a fucking fanboy. Yeah. I mean, that's, I'd be lying to you and everybody else who even remotely knows me to say anything different. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Legitimately.
I will give it a 9.5.
Oh,
9.5. Here's the reason.
Man.
This was a Frightful Five, not a Sinister Six, and I would have loved if they would have brought in Dane DeHaan as the other Green Goblin to have him and Dafoe kind of argue back and forth over who's the better Goblin, only to have Dafoe kill him off to make himself the Supreme Goblin.
Dude, we didn't even talk about fucking Dafoe is just
that guy,
amazing.
Yes,
like his switch from Osmond to fucking Green Goblin is just holy shit, man. It's like two different actors playing him.
How hard is Sam Raimi kicking himself in the ass for not realizing that you don't put a stupid mask on Willem Dafoe? Willem Dafoe's face is the Green Goblin.
Dafoe did not want to wear the electronics. He didn't want to wear the animatronics for the facial features. That's all Dafoe. He wanted to wear the Power Ranger helmet.
Well,
he didn't wear it in this, and it worked.
He did. Well, that's because
fucking T in this movie.
Hey, do you think Dafoe had that much pull in this movie? This is all Kevin Feige. Feige's like, oh, you want to do that? Okay, you're out. We'll get a stunt double.
Man.
We'll CGI your face on somehow. There's no Aviarad here to back Dafoe up or to second guess him.
Wait, am I hold on a second. Am I understanding right? You said he wanted the mask?
Dafoe didn't want he didn't want to put the animatronic face thing on. Like he didn't want to mutate into the Goblin. Okay. He wanted a helmet that he could easily take off to show that he is the Green Goblin. He didn't want to do the special effects, the animatronics, or the makeup or anything. He just wanted to wear a helmet, which is what he got. He got his way. He went to Sony execs and said, "I don't want to do this. I want to wear a helmet." So there's that test footage out there that has the animatronic for the Goblin face, which looks amazing.
I remember that, yeah, and it does look cool. But he never needed it. Never. There's never any point that he ever needed that mask.
No, he looked frightful with the stupid goggles on.
He's scary as shit as a human being, much less as a monster.
Yes,
with a mask on, he doesn't need it.
Just when he changes his voice and he's like, "Yeah," I'm like,
"Yeah,"
like that's creepy.
Yeah, it's so good.
I wonder if that's how he sounds at home. He's like, I want the cereal today. We're out of milk. Go get some milk now.
Welcome to Taco Bell. May I take your order? Let me get number 7, please, with extra cheese, no onions, and a Dr. Pepper. Okay, so number 7 with extra cheese, extra onions, and a Sprite. You listen to me, you dirty little.
He just switches to goblin voice everywhere.
I can't say I'd do any differently.
It's true. I mean, he did a fantastic job. He did a very fantastic job. And so, as Alfred Molina did too for Doc Ock. He did a great job too.
Yes, dude. That's what I'm saying. Like, this is why this movie is a 10, because you're bringing back art-directed characters from all these different movies, and you are staying true to their core as a character, and then building on top of that in this brand new universe. All these people,
and they even redeemed what's his name, Jamie Foxx too.
Oh, they made him better. They made him better,
dude. I like how they explain the yellow electricity with like, oh, this is different energy than what I'm used to. Like,
yes.
Yep.
Simple, one line. Let's fix what they fucked up.
He's not blue anymore. He's an Electro.
The typical, I'm a dork, so I wear glasses and I have buck teeth and my hair's all messed up.
And he had a comb over. I hate
that. That pissed me off about that movie. I'm like, this was not necessary. There are perfectly normal-looking people in real life that have social anxieties without having to look like a goddamn, 1940s interpretation of a dork in a comic strip.
Yeah. Very true.
Stereotypes. But don't get me started. But yeah, no, this movie, everything. When this movie gets snubbed at the Oscars, you know what's happening.
Well, all comic book movies get snubbed at the Oscars.
This movie saved the movie industry. This movie saved motion pictures.
Can we say it saved them?
I don't know about that.
What other movies are you going to go to?
That's what I'm saying. That's why it didn't save it. This movie did not save.
This movie didn't save theaters. This movie brought hype because everybody wanted to see this.
You know how much The Matrix made this weekend?
No,
15 million. So Spider-Man did not. People aren't like, oh, Spider-Man brought me back to the theater. I'm going to keep going.
Let me clarify what I meant.
Okay,
to say.
What movie didn't do this?
You need a good movie
going experience.
No,
yes.
Chris, you know what movie also didn't do this? That was theater only. Ghostbusters.
I can't speak to that, man, because I enjoyed the shit out of the Ghostbusters movie.
Was theater only. Was the first one to do theater only. Didn't have the same hype and draw that Spider-Man 3 did.
Yeah, but you know what? There's a lot of time between Spider-Man. Okay, look. I hate this. If we're going to go there, let's go there. The female-led Ghostbuster movie left a bad taste in a lot of people's mouths. I'm not one of them. I knew what the movie was. I got it.
Amazing Spider-Man 2. So did Amazing Spider-Man 2.
What was the window between Amazing Spider-Man 2 and this movie compared to the window between the Ghostbusters Lady movie and the new Ghostbuster movie? The time for the wounds to heal was a lot shorter between the two. A lot of man baby gatekeepers are still mad.
Well, wasn't it like less than 5 years? Wasn't it less than 5 years from Toby to Andrew Garfield?
I'm not sure, to be honest with you, but I don't know. No, I'm saying, isn't that apples to oranges? Like, did the Amazing Spider-Man movies not make money?
It's a reboot. It's a remake. It's a transition. That Ghostbusters movie, the Answer to Call movie, did make money. That did make money. The backlash came from the fans online, or not the fans, but the people complaining online. Right. So there's a difference between complaining and people supporting the movie. With this one, people were hyped for this movie when the second one came out. They were hyped for this movie after Endgame. They were hyped for it because they like the character. There's a reason for it.
I'm saying Ghostbusters is an invalid argument because even though you're saying that people online were pissed off about
the
it.
Matrix. There's a huge gap there.
There's a huge gap.
Okay, but then it's also on HBO Max. We're not talking about how many people stayed home because either they, one, didn't want to go out during a pandemic, and two, they knew better.
Well, I'm saying,
and wanted to stay and watch it for free.
If you're saying this movie's saving the movie industry,
that's why I was trying to go back earlier.
People will keep going back to the movies to see other movies.
That's why I'm trying to admit my fault. I'm trying to reapproach what I meant to say.
Did Eternals save the movie industry too? That was theater only.
No, we covered that. Nobody gives a shit about the Eternals.
Exactly.
It's just the Eternals is prime example of Disney having the money and not giving a shit if it makes money or not. They just wanted to put it out there. It was artistic. It was look. The MCU is a big puzzle that we know nothing about. We're getting one piece at a time.
I'm just saying movies that were theater only or theater exclusive coming out.
Here's my
didn't
quote.
do well versus Spider-Man 3, which obviously is still killing it at the box office.
Here's my new quote for all our 37 listeners who will care. Okay, no. No Way Home did not save the movie-going experience. I agree with you. What that movie did was it showed that if you give customers what they want to see, it can save the movie industry. That's what I meant to say. I apologize. Yes. I'm sorry I created a big hullabaloo here. My point is, it still stands. It is a movie that. How many movie theaters would have been closed by now had that movie not come out and made who knows how untold millions?
Well, our AMC 30 is still closed. It closed, got bulldozed down. It's probably going to be some apartments and townhomes. But a lot of other theaters were saved because of this movie.
But for how long?
For at least a month. I'm giving them a month. For at least a month. Alamo Drafthouse still closing up shop. Star Cinema Grill's opening up a new theater in the Woodlands. So, hey.
Yeah.
There's some big theater in the Woodlands that was just opening up when COVID hit. I don't even know if it opened. Like it was brand new. Like
I don't know what that one is, but I know from what I've heard and what I've been told, there's going to be a new Star Cinema Grill in the Woodlands. So that's going to be opening up soon.
We're going to be hit with a backlog of movies that are already in the can. Morbius is in the can. There's so many movies that are just done. That I mean, in all honesty,
and some are getting reshot. Some are getting reshot.
Sure,
Morbius has been reshot, I think, 5 times now because of
because I'm sure they have to put all kinds of shit in there now that Disney acquired it. Yeah. Now the thing is,
Disney owns it now.
Yeah.
No. Morbius is still Sony. Morbius is still Sony.
They have a new agreement though.
Yeah, they have a new agreement.
Now that they're playing ball together, they're going to have to. If they want that sweet Spider-Man money, they're going to have to go back and film some scenes and shit like that.
Yeah. So.
But
yeah, I mean, we got Morbius coming out. We've got they're making a Spider-Verse volume. Well, Spider-Verse Across Spider-Verse Volume 1, which technically Spider-Verse 2 coming out.
We're not ready.
I'm hyped for that. Yeah, I'm hyped for that one. That's got Spider-Man 2099, and it's got the Japanese Spider-Man in it.
Will you go to the theater to see that though?
I would.
I don't know. Yeah, we'll see. I don't know.
I think Spider-Verse, the first Spider-Verse, did more to reach out to non-Spider-Man fans than the movies we've been enjoying.
It did and did not. Spider-Verse, as much as it's become like a cult favorite now, it did poorly at the box office. It didn't do too well at the box office. It made
money, but it wasn't like crazy.
Yeah, it wasn't good money. But because of the movies and the word of mouth, that movie has a big following to it,
which might help the next one.
Yeah,
because
I think that will help the next one, especially when you have you'll have entertaining artists cameo as voices in there for the next one. So I think Post Malone is going to actually have a role as a cameo because of his song for the last movie. So it happens,
More than his what movie was it? Daredevil. There was some movie he was in the jail and got beat up.
Oh, Post
Malone?
Was it
The Punisher?
I think no.
Was it in Punisher?
No, that was a dragged across the gravel or dragged across concrete. But I know he's in a movie where he's in jail where he fights Vince Vaughn. I know that one. So
maybe it's that one. I don't know.
Okay, so Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse had a $90 million budget and made $375.5 million worldwide. That's not a fail.
It's not a fail. It's not a fail.
But the bar is set so high with these other MCU movies when it's $1 billion. Of course, this is going to sound like it didn't do too well. But if this were the same numbers back in 1992, this movie would have been the fucking movie of the century.
I'm not saying that it didn't. I'm not saying that it's not a bad movie. It's a great movie that compared to the other Spider-Man movies didn't make that money. And you had a lot of people.
I think it was one of those opening weekend was kind of but then word of mouth.
It opened during Christmas.
Word of mouth.
Christmas.
All of a sudden, people were like, "Oh, I need to go see this."
And how many people don't know who Miles Morales is? You know what I mean?
A lot still.
That's what I'm saying. That has to play. I mean, obviously this movie was a vehicle for that to introduce him as a go-to character because
a main Spider-Man.
Yeah.
A little help from Jamie Foxx mentioning.
That too.
Oh, dude, that one right there is that's the only little nugget you needed to introduce a live action Miles Morales at some point.
Yeah, but we've got to wait for him to grow up. Still, he's still a little kid in that universe.
The blip was a 5-year thing, and we went right past that.
Yep.
You know, we can revisit everything. So
that depends if he was a part of the blip or not. That depends if he was in the blip or not.
Well, I guess my point is like time is irrelevant. Like that was kind of the whole
time
point
is
of
irrelevant
in Infinity War, right? Like time doesn't matter at this point. They can do whatever they want. Yeah. But like, you know,
yeah, anybody could have been blipped.
Anybody could have been.
We don't know.
Yeah,
Spider-Man was blipped. He was.
You
blipped.
never know.
Ned was blipped. So jumping from one New York-based superhero to a series that's happened in New York that was pretty much the diehard of the Marvel Universe. Let's talk some Hawkeye. Now, Dwayne, so I didn't listen to the latest episode or latest 2 episodes where I heard Bernie kind of dog Hawkeye a little bit. He likes it.
He likes it.
He likes it. Okay.
Yeah.
I was listening to the episode where Rami was in Dubai, so I didn't get that far.
What the hell does Rami do for work? God damn.
Hey,
sorry.
He's a drug he's a drug pusher.
He's like, I own the jockstrap that Dolph Lundgren wore on the movie set of Masters of the Universe. Like that guy's got more money than sense. Yes, sir?
It's
I know you're talking about Hawkeye and
Ricardo Potabon. So, anyways, he's Pablo Escobar or Rami Escobar. So, anyways, let's talk some Hawkeye. I mean, you've all seen it, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Of course.
Overall, the show. What did y'all think of the show? Dwayne, what did you think of it overall? Like, good, bad, the ugly?
I liked it. I thought it was a good, funny show. You know, it was humorous without overly humorous.
Mm-hmm.
Action was good. What's her name that plays the new Hawkeye?
Yeah,
she was amazing.
Kate Bishop, the girl who plays Kate Bishop.
Kate Bishop
had surprises in here.
Yeah,
we won't spoil it yet, but there's spoilers coming. So if you haven't seen Hawkeye, just keep moving on.
Yeah, just keep moving. No, it's
more spoilers in this. More surprises in this that I didn't think they were gonna do. I was like, nah, it's too. This is Mephisto shit. That's what they're trying to. They're going with the fucking Mephisto. They're gonna play it up like it's this, and it's gonna be something else.
Self-aware. They're self-aware at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I'll admit, if you listen to the last episodes, I thought the big reveal at the end was going to be the owl, or even Tombstone, because of the big guy reference. I thought it was going to be the owl.
I was like, the owl, dude.
Because Marvel has a way of throwing people off. They think you're going one way, and they throw you off.
What was the guy with the flat head?
A hammerhead. Hammerhead.
The big guy. Oh, you mean Stilt Man? Because he's tall.
Hey, Tombstone's a big guy, though. Tombstone's a big guy. He had nothing to play with.
The big guy. D-Man. Was it Demolition Man? The guy, that Wolverine knockoff guy? He's like a stunt man? I don't know. It's just, anyway, yeah. No, dude, this all cylinders. The MCU stuff is just all cylinders, 100% fan service, and it's proving that it works. And we just want to be entertained. That's all we want. That's all we want.
Yeah.
Marvel knows that. Marvel Disney knows that.
Well, hold on. That's all most of us want.
There's
some fanboys that they want more than that.
Yeah, they want everything. They want comic accurate suits. They want comic accurate casting. They want their characters look like the way Romita Jr. drew them.
Yeah, well, tell them to go back to their Reddit hole and shut the hell up. Nobody cares. Like, stay on the chat boards and bitch all you want, while the rest of the world enjoys things.
Hey, I love the show. I thought the end reveal was great. I was expecting him.
Let's just spoil it now.
We're already there. It's Kingpin. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Okay. I got into that Kingpin hype of like expecting him, but hoping it was somebody else, just to laugh at the other people who are like, the Mephisto train, with Kingpin. I'm like, aha, you were wrong. It was Tombstone all along. But
it was Tombstone.
It was great. I mean, this show, to me, this show felt like part Die Hard, part Lethal Weapon, and just straight up kindergarten cop.
Dude, it was charming. So charming, this show.
Yeah.
All the characters, everything was grounded in this show did such a good job of grounding superheroes in reality.
It did.
I mean,
it really did.
It really did.
I think the biggest reveal in this was who Hawkeye's wife is.
Yeah, Mockingbird.
I wasn't expecting that. I was like, Linda Cardellini is 76 years old. How's she going to play Mockingbird?
But hey, that was a good reveal too. That was
awesome.
I kind of hope that like when they flip over to watch, you would see like the little Mockingbird logo like on the back of it, or like some little indentation of that.
Right.
But still, it was a great.
It's our agent number, right?
Yeah, Agent 19 is it's Mockingbird.
Didn't Mockingbird? Isn't that who had a baby with Luke Cage later?
That's
on?
Jessica Jones.
That's Jessica Jones.
Was it Jessica Jones?
Jessica Jones had the baby with Luke Cage.
Okay.
Danielle Cage.
So. I think Jessica Jones had a superhero name that sounds like Mockingbird or something like that.
No, Jewel. She was Jewel.
It was Jewel. That's what it was. Okay.
Yeah, she was Jewel.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I can see where Dwayne's coming from. Makes sense.
Yeah.
I think they had a similar costume.
Yeah. But we had a subdued Kingpin that still worked for what they needed him to do in this series.
I think he still had that craziness about him, though.
He did.
Like, you know what I mean? He's good.
Yeah,
at
but
that,
he didn't smash anybody's head in the GMC Suburban.
Nobody ripped doors
door
off
either.
They also showed how much power he really has. Like that arrow went in him, and he was just like, whatever.
He's like,
yeah, it's awesome. I'm not complaining. By no means. Like, I tried to sit down and watch with Nicole. I tried to sit down with her to watch the first episode of Daredevil from the Netflix series. She's like, "Oh, I really like the Kingpin. I liked all the things. Oh, let's go watch Daredevil so you can see." And she wasn't into it, man. It's like, this is way more violent than what we saw. I was like, "Yeah, no, this is going to be."
Hey, okay. I always say you got to get to episode 2 and see that hall fight scene, and then if you're not hooked, then don't.
Yes.
I could not agree more, but my wife does not do.
He said episode 2. We can give it a try.
Okay. Well then, hey, thank you, Dwayne. Thank you for saving my marriage. I appreciate it.
Well, okay. So Chris, who you're thinking of, or who you're thinking of? It was Songbird from the Thunderbolts.
Songbird. Okay.
Songbird. She had a similar costume, but she had the white with the pink hair.
Yeah, I was going to say I knew something. Yeah, there was something there. I couldn't piece it, but yeah, it makes total sense.
Songbird from Thunderbolts.
Boom.
So
it's only a matter of times we get Thunderbolts, dude. Everything.
Of course. Well, we had Swordmaster in.
We're gonna have Young Avengers. We're gonna have it all.
Yeah, we're gonna have everything.
It's all coming.
Okay, look. Do you think with Marvel Disney having the rights to Fox for Deadpool now, and we haven't seen any, and now they have Punisher, and now they have Elektra, and now they have Red Hulk. Do we get the Red Team? Do we get the Red Thunderbolts, or do we get?
Well, you have to have Thunderbolts regular first before you get the Thunderbolts diet.
Oh man, the Red Thunderbolts was a good one. Did you not read that series?
I did read it. I did read it.
I read the show series.
We could even get the Baron Zemo Thunderbolts.
Yeah, we had to get that first.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, who all was on that team? It was like the Firebug or whatever his name was. The
Mach 5 was
Mach 5. That's what it was. Mach 5, Songbird.
Yeah. Meteorite, Screaming Mimi, Swordsmaster.
Atlas. Atlas? Wasn't Atlas on there?
Yeah, Atlas, Goliath.
Yeah. I mean, I guess again, anything's possible. I honestly don't feel like there's anything they can't take and reshape and polish it with an MCU finish.
Oh, Citizen V. Citizen V was and Beetle.
They're good at giving us a little bit of what we want. Like,
yes.
Again, I always say this on our show. Like, I don't want to go watch a comic book I've already read. I want pieces of that in the essence of it, but I don't want to see the exact same story. I want to be surprised, you know?
Sure. I think all of it's grounded in reality. Like if like the guys that were bitching, you talking about the guys bitching about not having comic accurate outfits and stuff like that. Like, can you imagine if the 2000 X-Men would have been the blue and yellow Jim Lee uniforms?
Yeah, in spandex.
It would have flopped. It would have been a dud.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so I think the same thing still applies. Could you imagine?
They can't bitch. Marvel puts them in anyways.
Hawkeye with the traditional Hawkeye uniform, plain and simple. They even made a joke about it in the series. It just wouldn't happen.
He had the Hawkeye semi costume that he wore in the Hawkeye series.
He didn't have the cowl.
The old school, the traditional, the Errol Flynn, purple and blue.
But he had the jumpsuit. The only thing he was missing was the sunglasses. That was it. But
that's more like
we're talking about the old school.
Oh, the
Wolverine H on his head and all. Yeah, there's no way they could have done that. There's no way.
No, there's no way that could have happened.
And there's no need for it, really and truly. Like you can't make this universe be so grounded and then just go out of left field with some bullshit like that. Yeah, you're like, no. People that's who, even myself, who's a true hardcore MCU fan, would eat that alive. I'm like, how dare you?
But it's like it's funny when like in Captain America's origin story, right? He had the shitty uniform that he
did,
but he was doing the theater shit. So it's kind of funny to see that, right?
And it was time appropriate. I mean, how could they have given him a tactical uniform in 1942? You know what I mean? Like everything made complete and total sense. It was all grounded. I think I guess I hate to sound like a broken record, but
hey, in all the Netflix shows, we got the classic costumes in all the Netflix shows. You know, Jessica Jones had her jewel costume. Hellcat had her comic book Hellcat costume. Mm-hmm. Luke Cage had his comic book accurate costume with the chains and the tiara and the puffy shirt and all that. Danny Rand had a flashback with the mask. So I mean, we all had, they all had their comic book accurate.
And costumes. They updated Daredevil to look cool.
Yeah,
he did look cool as hell, man. Do you think we're going to get an accurate Punisher in the MCU? There's no way, right? Surely not. They didn't give us an accurate. They didn't give us the gritty Marvel Knights. There's no way they couldn't possibly.
That unless prison it's fight scene to Disney Plus. Pretty intense, though.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah, the prison fight scene was pretty intense.
But that was Netflix, though. I'm talking about like if they brought him back into the MCU timeline stuff. There's no way.
I think they will. I think there's going to be something with that. I mean,
I think they will.
You got Blade coming. You got Moon Knight coming. You got people.
I have concerns about Moon Knight. Dude. A lot of people don't know the history behind the Moon Knight character. Like they stick true to the story of Mark, what's his face?
Mark Spector.
You obviously don't listen to my podcast.
I don't listen. Breaking news. I hate my voice. I hate listening to my own podcast, much less anybody else's.
Well, Chris, I got to ask you then: how bloody or how violent was the Mandalorian? Because you had the one scene where Boba Fett coming in there and smashing stormtroopers' helmets in the Mandalorian, and there was blood bits and little bits and pieces flying off of him doing a smash.
There was no blood.
There was no blood.
But it was an intense fight scene. You still felt you felt it though.
I mean, the opening scene for Mandalorian for the very first episode was a guy getting his head cut off through the doors.
Yeah.
He got his body cut in half, actually. But yeah, I see your point. Like I don't know, but did you see that though? Did they show you that?
No, but it was implied. But it was implied, but you know what happened though.
Well, okay, so how many episodes of Punisher do you want to watch where gunshots lead to headshots implied? Like, oh look, he shot a gun again. Like, of course he did. That's what he's going to do. But how is he going to do it?
Also, people forget Disney does do R-rated movies.
They do.
They don't do a lot of them, but they do them.
Okay, but
then I think they've already said that Deadpool is going to be R.
But it's going to go to Hulu.
It's going to go to Hulu?
That's where it will go because that's where their adult content goes.
So to your point,
things that go to Hulu die. They're not going to put it there.
That's what I was kind of thinking. Hulu would be the death sentence of it. Okay, so then parental settings on your Disney Plus will be an absolute must if they're going to do this.
No, I think there'll be a warning. I think there'll be like a warning screen that says, "Warning: the following content is made for adults." And this.
How many people put their kids in front of the screen and not watch their kids?
No, I'm saying on Disney Plus they might not do it. But that doesn't mean they're not going to make it and put it somewhere.
Where do you put it?
Put it back on Netflix. Who cares? Like Disney's got all the money, man. They can do whatever the hell they want, man.
They could do that. I mean, they could do that.
Okay, so all this Marvel Knights-esque. No. To your point, if they're going to do that, all these characters, faithful representations of these characters, it would have to be like a movement to do a whole new thing on another streaming service of nothing but like freaking, just like all violent Marvel.
Yeah, but Blade's coming, and you see how violent Morbius is going to be.
Well, okay. No, hold on. Did you really see anything violent in that trailer, or did you just see?
You mean the blood dripping from the ceiling? The blood dripping from the ceiling?
Him killing people as he goes through a warehouse?
I'm going to have to watch.
Watch the trailer again. Watch it again. It was Red Band. It was a Red Band trailer.
Oh my god! Okay.
It was a Red Band trailer.
I honestly, I would be shocked if they give us faithful representations of Moon Knight and Blade, much less. But then again, Blade's not killing people. Blade's killing vampires.
He's killing vampires. You know what? Know what happened with the Blade series? When he cuts a vampire, they're just going to turn to ash. There's no blood. They just turn to ash.
Okay. And the original, no. But the original one was rated R, right?
The original one was rated R
due to content and language and shit like that.
Mainly due to sexual content and language.
Yeah, those are two things that Disney doesn't mess too much with.
The only blood that happens in the first Blade movie was whenever Blade feeds at the very end on the chick to regain his life.
What about the
bloodbath at the beginning? In the bloodbath at the beginning.
Then, when he plugs the thing in Deacon Frost and turns into he turns into a big blood bubble.
He does for like a few seconds, but that's CG. That was all CG. Again, CG.
Blood, right? Okay.
It's a blood monster.
We say all this to say who we're all going to agree with this. We're going to watch it.
Yeah. I'll be there day one, maybe with the kids. Day two.
For Moon Knight. Come on, kids. Let's sit down and watch Moon Knight together. Let's watch a schizophrenic Batman lose his mind out in the desert or in the jungle.
Do you think like Bernthal will show up in like Moon Knight or Blade or some shit?
That's where he would have to show up, right?
I think he'll show up in Blade at least. I think we'll show up in Blade.
I mean, we've already got 2 Netflix characters showing up. I mean, I think they're going to start. You're going to see them in all kinds of shit just to keep us excited.
Well, here's a question right here. With because we know we're going to get Young Avengers. That's going to happen.
Oh yeah,
that's going to happen. Who do you think the villains are going to be? Villain or villains will be for Young Avengers?
No idea.
Do you think that will be Dark Avengers to be the villains for the Young Avengers? Or
Scrolls.
Or no, not Scrolls. I don't think it'll be Scrolls.
Young Avengers were a huge part of the Secret Invasion storyline.
Or to throw a twist and to kind of revitalize that franchise, because the actors have come out recently about wanting to do more of it. The Runaways. Teen Avengers versus the Runaways that were canceled too early.
Were they canceled too early though?
They were.
I got like 2 episodes into season 2 and stopped.
I think they would be a good villains.
My wife is doing the Antsie's in her pantsy dance by the door here because we haven't talked about the very last end credit scene of the last episode of Hawkeye.
So speaking of Boba Fett, the episode 1. So speaking of the first episode of Boba Fett,
Dwayne, what are your thoughts on musicals, Dwayne?
It was funny. I liked it. It was funny.
It was funny. It was good for a giggle. It was good for a giggle.
Hey, it's funny for a reason because you have a professional opinion that is degreed in this.
Okay.
So what's your opinion, dear? So did this end scene save the MCU as we know it?
Well, no, but it's great. It's great. No, so it's funny because the writers of said song are the writers who did Hairspray, and that's what Hairspray is supposed to do. And they did every theater trope that people can know in this, and it's so good.
So there's like 147 people worldwide, like myself, who are married to a theater nerd. So we wanted to make sure we got to the.
I wasted my parents' money on this.
Yes, exactly.
So if you love Hairspray and John Travolta, you will get that ending and you'll enjoy it.
This end credit scene will be a big payoff for you.
It will.
Hey, but you can't stop the beat. Come on, man.
Oh my God.
They also adapted the Leo DiCaprio movie where he's the pilot. Won Tonys.
So there you go, everybody. So
Boba Fett.
No, I have to mention Adam Pascal because people will know Adam Pascal from School of Rock.
Who?
Adam Pascal is a huge part of Broadway history as the original Roger in Rent. So Rogers and Rogers the musical.
Who?
I got to see him in Rent, so it's great.
It's funny because you didn't hear what Dwayne said. He says he's going to edit that whole thing out.
One time you actually get a professional in the conversation for the subject. You're going to take it out.
Adam Pascal, everybody. Duh.
Hey, she's a professional fan. She's a professional fan.
He's a legend.
He is. Hey, he tried to bring Operation Mindcrime.
112. I got it.
He's writing timestamps.
Dwayne needs any help with any advanced editing, I won't help him.
Oh, this became a what is this, a leverage?
Because
We're gonna, hey, you should title this Adam Pascal.
Yeah, just gonna call it Adam Pascal.
It's gonna go crazy. ...
and some MCU stuff too.
Well, if you also want to talk about Adventures in Babysitting, he's in Rent with the Furby kid in Adventures in Babysitting, aka Anthony Rapp, who's also in Rent, and I saw them both.
I have no idea who those people are. I don't know who those people are. You can insert like a carafe, like soundbite. Who? And people would get that.
Listen, what is it right now? 10:01.
Wait, did she storm out of the room? Did she like slam one of the room?
She closed my door. Yes, displeased.
Oh, you're sleeping on the couch tonight, buddy.
No, I'll sleep on my bed. What's going to happen is I'm going to get in bed at 2:00 in the morning, and I'm going to give her a kiss and tell her I love her, and she's going to be like, Adam Pascal wouldn't.
Adam Pascal wouldn't do that.
No, I'm playing Animal Crossing.
Till 2:00 in the morning.
Oh, I could. I have.
Okay.
So wait, South Park going to do a new song instead of Brian Boitiano?
I was just thinking that. What would Adam Pascal do if he were here today?
I mean, kick an ass or two. That's what Adam Pascal will do.
Oh my god.
It would have been better if Lin Manuel.
I can hear the door slam.
He's too busy making $1 million off Encanto and trying to get his EGOT.
Who?
Oh my god. What have you done?
More Broadway trivia. The guy who wrote Let It Go also wrote The Internet is for Porn and Everybody's a Little Bit Racist. And he has an EGOT for The Wonder Pets. So there you go.
On this trivia of no one who I just heard.
Disney hires the best people.
The world is better for having known all of this, dear.
Elsa and Racist Puppets.
Elsa and there's the name of your that's the episode name right there. Elsa and Racist Puppets.
Elsa and Racist Puppets have made it onto our show.
Oh my god.
This episode is sponsored by the Farm Drinkery, best dive bar in the corner of a strip center on Champions Forest Drive in Louetta in Spring, Texas. 22 local beers on tap and world famous wings. Come for the great atmosphere, stay for the free high five. Use the code BeerNerd20 to get 20% off your bill.
Oh my god. So yes, Book of Boba, y'all guys. Thoughts?
I can't wait for the musical.
I can't wait for the musical now.
The songs of Boba.
Boba the musical.
Oh, it's off Broadway. It's touring in Chicago right now.
It's called The Cup of Boba.
Oh my god. She's still there, y'all. She's getting so salty.
You're welcome.
I'm gonna call this episode Morton.
The Chuck Norris and the Adam Pascal podcast.
I'm gonna call this episode Morton.
God.
No way, Pascal. Okay, so Book of Boba Fett. We start off with the first episode. So what did everybody think? Is there a musical in the future? First of all,
hey, who knows? Maybe. I'm surprised that he didn't fly by the Starlight going, "I can do this all day." Like, I'm surprised that didn't happen. So
yeah, he had to do it in the Australian accent.
She's still grinding in there. I think the biggest thing in everybody's mind, first off, we're happy to see Boba Fett back. Secondly, how the fuck did he get out of the Starlight pit?
He climbed.
He blew his way out of it with his damn
burned the shit out of him.
He burned it.
Which I thought was, you know what? And I think that was the eternal question, right? Like that was like Star Wars. The question for Star Wars fans is akin to what came first, the chicken or the egg, right? So,
well, no. You have I think there were books written that he climbed his way out. He bombed and climbed his way out in the books.
Well, have you seen the Patton Oswalt quote?
No.
With the Rami sent it to me today. It's literally him. He's like, we pan in on the two sons of Tatooine that pan down to a fist of Boba breaking through the sand as he crawls out of the.
No kidding.
And it's side by side with the scene.
Holy crap, that's awesome. Dude, honestly, it was pretty ingenious for him.
I forget who he was talking to, but it was years ago that he said that.
Patton Oswalt, God bless him.
They're giving the fans what they want. They're giving the fans what they want.
Yes, it was ingenious for him to get the oxygen off the stormtrooper. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like down, like what is exactly in like a starlight pit? It turns out it's like the same thing inside that big alien that Dave Bautista was in Guardians of the Galaxy. You just kind of have to cut your way out, you know.
Well, acid, because you saw the stormtrooper kind of melting.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's a good point.
Yeah, it's like it was all melting and everything. So
it's the stomach acid.
Yeah.
Upset stomach, diarrhea, like you know, man, so good. I mean, it's only been how many years since we, found out how he got out of the Starlight Pit? Was it 8? Was it 79, 80 when that movie came out?
I swear to God, there was one of the recuts of it where they showed him like fly out real quick somewhere.
Well, they did that on Robot Chicken.
Lucas added in later or some shit.
They did that on Robot Chicken where they had him flying out of the Starlight Pit, only for him to fly into another Starlight Pit.
Actually, sir, that was on the Laserdisc release in Germany. Exclusive to Region 7 Laserdisc players. No.
Oh, now you're going to the nerd trope. You just complained about.
That was just my excuse. That was just my excuse to use my voice. I think it's very funny. Anyway, but
complained about it.
Hey man, hey, I paid my $20 to get this hosting fee. I'm gonna talk some shit. Damn it. No.
So what do you think about it, Chris?
I thought it was awesome.
Are you in, or are you kind of like, I can wait?
Well, as far as Boba Fett's concerned?
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, dude! By no means am I a fanatic when it comes to Star Wars, but I would call myself an upper echelon casual fan. Like I don't own any toys or any lightsabers, anything like that. But am I psyched to know the lore, and do I pay attention to the retellings and when somebody gives me some nuggets of Dark Horse elements they're putting in with things like Thrawn in the comics and potentially Thrawn in the Mandalorian, all these things are very interesting to me. So the idea of bringing Boba Fett back and his little story about how he dug out of the Starlight Pit and how I saw a lot of people bitching that he was kind of a puss in this. And I was like, well, wait a minute. What are you talking about? Like,
he climbed out. He was tired. He needed naps.
No, he got into that one fight scene in the road and then had to go rest again.
Yeah.
But he's old, right?
He's an old man.
Well, I think we're going to see there's more reason for that than.
Well,
I mean, I think there's a bigger reason for that.
Well,
I
can think of the reason why. Because if you watch Clone Wars and if you watch Rebels, you'll know he's the original clone. Boba Fett is the original clone. This is probably him keeping alive by basically doing like the Saiyan bath, or being
the
like
back to tank.
Yeah, basically him going back to the chamber to heal because he's a clone. This is how he's going to heal up. Because he is the original clone.
And I guess you can really do anything you want because it's not like we ever really had a in-depth backstory on Boba Fett in the first place, right?
Well, I remember in I think it was one of the episodes of either Bad Batch, is it the Bad Batch or Clone Wars? No, either Clone Wars or Rebels, where young Boba Fett was there and he gets hurt, and he takes forever for himself to heal. Well, everybody else is already healing up pretty quickly. He's taken the longest to heal up because of his injuries. So I think that's going to play into the show. That detail will play into the show.
Oh yeah, this is Achilles' heel. Somebody's going to exploit that.
He's a clone. I mean, he's a clone.
Well, he's a clone of the original. He doesn't have all the enhancements that the other clones have.
No.
Oh yeah, you're right. Good point. That's what Jango wanted.
That's why he was a kid, and all the other clones were grown up.
Yeah, they're all grown up, and they're all able to age well. Like Captain Rex aged pretty well. All the other ones will age pretty well. Like really, go watch Clone Wars and go watch Rebels.
I need to, man.
Really good. They're really good.
I prefer Rebels, but
I prefer Rebels too. But Clone Wars had a lot of good battle fights. They had a lot of good fight scenes.
It's hard to get through though. I would pick.
There's a lot of filler
episodes.
There's a lot of filler in Rebels, but that filler builds the bonds between the commanders and the Jedi, and it's in the end it's worth it. In the end, it's worth it because when you go back and rewatch Episode 3, different meaning. Has a
Have
different
you ever
emotional.
looked at
outful.
So there's a list of like what order to watch Clone Wars.
I heard that because I've told people I want to watch those.
It's great. I tried it. I think it's easier just to watch them straight because it's like season 2, episode 1, season 1, episode 6, season 3, episode 2. God. Like I'm just gonna watch it. I don't care if it doesn't make sense until later. Like
there is a list. Yeah, there definitely is a list. But yeah, I enjoyed Book of Boba. I thought the first episode was great. My 10-year-old daughter was ecstatic that it was coming out that day. We had to watch it when she got home. She was hyped up to see it. We couldn't do anything else until we watched it. And then when she finished it, she's like, "Wait, I have to wait next week." I'm like, "Yeah, it's every Wednesday now."
Same.
You have to wait till every Wednesday. And so she's hyped on it.
She's like, maybe they do what they've been doing, like have 2 or 3 episodes to start, but I guess not. I guess they don't have to.
I guess not for Star Wars. I think not for Star Wars. They'll do it for everything else, but not that one.
I think they did it for the first Mandalorian, didn't they?
First episode only. First episode. Yeah. Because I remember we got to episode, I think 3 or 4 weeks after it came out, when the in-laws came over and we introduced the kids to Mandalorian along with the in-laws. And that's where Gwen got her love for Star Wars, was from that. Yeah. So, because we ended up watching it again with the in-laws to show the kids, and the kids, Gwen loved it. She fell in love with it. So, but I'm happy with it. I'm thinking I'm really enjoying the show, so I can't complain.
I thought it was okay. It didn't blow me out of the water or anything. It was just an okay thing. I thought the fight scene was a little lame, honestly.
It was
a little clunky.
They showed them getting their ass whooped. It was, and you have to build that. You can't have the badasses be too overpowered. You have to have them get beat.
I like how they had the Gamorrean guards, though. That was kind of cool.
Yeah,
like they just came in.
Yeah, and actually did something with them. That was like, oh, okay.
Yeah. The pigs did something. The pig actually did something. So.
When they went to the bar to kind of establish dominance to say, hey, like they did the mafia, you're under our protection thing. I was like, that Twi'lek lady looks familiar. And then I'm watching the credits. I'm like, Jennifer Beal. And I was like, she's a maniac.
Oh, that's Jennifer Beal?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, I had, because I was like, I told Nicole, I was like, that obviously is somebody. I just can't place her. And the credits was like, that's okay. I was like, she's a small town girl on a Saturday night. Yeah.
I wonder if the 2 Gamorrean guards were actually like how like a lot of the Star Wars movies now have famous people in them in costume because they just want to be in a Star Wars movie.
Oh yeah, one was Nicolas Cage, the other one was like Prince Harry or some bullshit.
It's like John Krasinski and Pam.
I'll be in your Star Wars show as long as I get to be a Gamorrean guard. Yeah, man, perfect. We'll do it, man.
So that will kind of wrap up the show for today, because we're hitting that time. We talked some Boba Fett, we talked some Hawkeye, we talked some Spider-Man. So I want to thank Dwayne for coming back on and talking some nerd with us.
We got to watch Cobra Kai. We have like another 15 minutes if you want,
Not for me anymore. Not for me anymore. I've got to start cutting things short at night.
Oh god! If I could rant less, I'd be okay. But
you ranted fine. So I mean, closing thoughts. I do have this one question. Closing thoughts to kind of like the last 5-10 minutes. And this is, and we talked about this last at the theater when we saw Spider-Man 3. Marvel Legends Wave 2 for No Way Home for the villains. Who wouldn't kill for a Spider-Man 2 Doc Ock, or the new Electro Jamie Foxx, or Defoe with the new armor and stuff?
Oh, it's coming. Come on.
It's coming.
You know it's coming.
It is.
Ching 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 ching.
Yeah. Well, who's gonna be the Build-A-Figure for that set? Would it be Doc Ock, or would the Build-A-Figure be Sandman? Kingpin?
Mephisto. It'd be Mephisto. No, honestly, as much as I hate to admit it, I think it would be Doc Ock, wouldn't it? With all the extra arms and the jacket and the head and the torso and all that bullshit. Yeah, it would have to be him.
It could be Doc Ock. So I just want a Marvel Legends Raimi, Toby Spider-Man, and an Andrew Garfield Spider-Man for
that's going to be
unmasked.
Well, they come with the interchangeable heads. They have the 2 heads.
Yeah,
it's going to be right around the corner. There'll be singles, and they'll be hard as hell to get, or they'll be, furthermore, be Target exclusive. You might as well fucking forget it. But you'll get a single, and then they'll probably do like an Amazon exclusive box set. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Or the chase would be Andrew Garfield with the coat lab on his Spider-Man suit. Or the chase would be, or the super rare would be new Spider-Man costume.
Toby in street clothes.
Toby
cool youth pastor.
Street pastor.
Cool youth pastor.
Cool youth pastor. Toby. But I want that Electro. I want that Electro, and I want that Green Goblin, and I want that Electro. Those two looked pretty sick.
Yeah, it's gonna, dude. Give us Ned with the Doctor Strange's cape on, the sling ring on his hand, and give him a little flight stand.
Hey,
or his aunt or whatever, his grandma, tell him to get the web out of the corner.
Dude, I didn't even talk about that. So they're speaking Tagalog, Filipino language, and the people sitting next to me were Tagalog. They spoke the language, right?
What?
So the grandma's talking and they're laughing, and then Ned's like translating, and then everybody else is laughing. Like, it was funny.
That's awesome.
They were laughing before like anybody else knew the joke.
That's
so
cool.
good.
I asked him at the end. I was like, "I'm guessing you knew what she was saying, right?"
That's so good.
That's pretty cool. Well, again, Dwayne, thanks for coming on. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Thank you, sir.
Talking Spider-Man with us. So
and Adam Pascal. Don't forget Adam Pascal.
Don't tell my podcast. We haven't even talked about it yet. So
it's okay. Bernie stopped listening to our podcast a long time ago. When we hit 2 hours, he quit listening. So it's all good. It's all good.
Oh man,
we're on a holiday break.
So again, thank you for listening. If you've made it this far, give yourself a pat on the back.
And if you like what you've just heard, check out crossthestreamsmedia.com, where not only can you listen to our show, but several other shows that are part of the Cross the Streams Media family. Such shows like Three Bears and a Mic, Dorksman, Secondary Heroes, Scott White's Dan Aykroyd Podcast, The Art of Boar Podcast, Burn Appetit, Beering Ain't Easy, the STS Guys Podcast, and Toy Rewind. Movie Gap is there as well.
And until we meet again, I am Aaron.
I am Chris.
And as I always say...
Dwayne. What? You gotta let the guest go, too!
No!
Come on!
Who cares about the guest?
Hey,
are y'all doing ponchos?
I'm not just
weekend?
Any guest.
Hey, are we doing ponchos this weekend?
Ponchos? Hell yeah.
Because
always.
Bernie's in town.
No, he's not in town this weekend.
Oh, it's not this weekend? When is he coming in town?
Oh my god.
In
Say
a
the
couple
word.
Weeks. Okay.
We'll get the group on, we'll go.
But it's not this weekend.
No.
No. Okay.
You were ready for the rest. Here we go. We never settle 'cause we come with it. Here we go. Who wanna test? Who give you out of
Cross the Streams
This has been a Cross the Streams Media Podcast.